In this video, we're going to talk about another advanced tool called the EdgeLoopTool. Now, there's two basic ways that we can use the EdgeLoopTool. If you notice here, we have the Insert Edge Loop and we have the Offset Edge Loop. Let's start with the Insert Edge Loop. Insert Edge Loop creates a loop on the selected edge, intersecting it. So there you go. So we can do that anywhere we want. And right now, its settings are set up so that it's on relative, which means that I can control where the edge loop is, and whenever I release, that's where the edge loop is created. But let's say I want to go over here and I want to select this one and I want to cut this guy in half. Let's say I want to cut this right in half right here, but I don't know exactly what the halfway point is, and I don't want to guesstimate. I want to make sure it's exactly in half. So if I go to the edge loop tool and I click on that little box right there, it's going to open up this little tool settings. Notice we're on relative right now. If I change this to multiple edge loops and then I change this to one, it's going to cut it right in half. Notice I'm clicking on the edge here, but it's creating that right in the middle. Let's do it again. So we're going to cut this in half. So we're going to have 4 equal squares, perfectly in half. Same thing here. So now this thing is cubed up. So let's say I want to cut and make 2 edge loops on this side and this side. Now, I don't care about them being perfect on either side, but I want to make sure that the distance on either side is exactly the same. So this is when the Offset Edge Loop tool comes in handy. So if I go into Offset Edge Loop tool and I click on this edge right here, it's going to create 2 edge loops mirroring the edge loop that I clicked on. So notice I can change them because it's kind of on relative right now. But let's say, so if I want to make it like right there, notice we have control over it, but the distance between this edge and this edge are guaranteed to be exactly the same from this middle edge. One more thing to realize and note is how to get rid of edge loops. Now say you accidentally do something like this and you add an edge loop. But I mean, obviously you can undo that. But let's say you go ahead and do some more detail over here and here. And then you say, oh no, I need to get rid of this edge loop. Well, the best way to do that is to select part of that edge loop. Hold Control, right click, notice Edge Loop Utility, and then Edge Loop, delete. Now that completely deletes the edge loop and it deletes the verts as well. Now, the other way to do this, and this is kind of the sloppy way, is if we kind of just have that and we want to delete that part, delete this. Now if you notice, you can see it here, there's a vert right there that is left. Now if you want to delete the edges like this, you got to make sure to delete your verts too, because you're going to leave extra geometry. So that's the basics.